Bam! We're gonna talk about my experience with the clapper in northern Arizona. I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear this story, so here we go. All right, so back in 2017, I decided to take my first solo camping trip with my paddleboard up to northern Arizona. First place I went to was going to be a designated campground. There's park rangers and everything. Found a spot, set up my camp, and the park ranger came by to collect the fee. I couldn't find it. That's all right, I'll be back later. Freaking out that I couldn't find the $12 in cash, big deal. I had decided to tear down all my shit, throw it in the back of my Jeep, and drive into National Forest, which is probably like 1,000 feet away from the campground. At this campground, there was nobody there. This is a week before Labor Day. Everyone was coming out probably the next weekend. And in Arizona, you can see through the woods decently well. It was very clear there was nobody else out here. I leave the paid camp area and I start to head into the National Forest area where you can camp for free. If you've been there before, you know what I mean. There's fire pits, there's roads. So I found this primo camp spot, set up my tent, and I have to use the restroom. Walk out into the woods and I'm squatting, right? I hear doesn't stop. It just keeps going. So it wasn't like a round of applause for me going to the bathroom by myself. It was weird, right? I finish up, stand up, and I'm looking in the direction from where this clapping is coming from. And I'm standing as still as I can, just trying to see any movement through the woods, and all I hear is the clapping. Okay, so my dumbass starts to walk towards the clapping sound. No, I only took a few steps, and then my mind kicked in and was like, what the hell are you doing? Then it stopped. I'm alone. And I'm very uneasy. So I need to get a few sticks for the fire and walked into the woods to get my sticks. And the clapping started again. As soon as I stepped out of the ring to be in the woods. And I was like, not happening. This is cute. But no, I pretended like it wasn't bothering me and that I couldn't hear anything. I'm thinking, if this is a person, I want to get the hell out of here as quick as, well, even if it's not a person, I definitely want to get the hell out of here. I casually walk back with my few sticks that I've collected. I go inside my tent, which I'm pretty certain that no one can see me in, and I grab my blankets, grab my pillow. I'm going to make a run for it to the car. I'm going to throw my stuff in the back, and I'm out of here. So that is exactly what I did. And I ran to the back of my Jeep, threw it in the back. I left everything else there. And I mean, like, my backpack with my clothes in it, everything was left at the campsite. And the tent, everything. I was so scared. And there's zero service. And there's zero service for a very long time. So I decided to drive back in toward Payson. And so I went into Walmart and I got a couple of Lunchables. I went into the Walmart parking lot and I laid in the back of my car and I watched Netflix, and that is where I camped for the night with my Lunchables. I also was looking up clapping sounds from animals. I was trying to Google anything I possibly can here in the back of my car about this sound. No, could it be deer or elk ramming their antlers together? I don't know. It didn't sound like that, but who knows? Maybe there's a bird who mimics the clapping sound. I'm hoping one of you can tell me, because every single thing I looked up came back to tell me that I was hanging out with Sasquatch, or, you know, the mountain man of Arizona. Barely slept that night. I went back up there the next day. There's still not a soul in sight. Nobody has come and camped overnight. It was just my stuff out there. I quickly did tear down my tent, and my head was on a swivel. I was so scared. And I got everything back into my Jeep. I went down to the reservoir and I paddled out for a little bit, and I came back and I passed out in my Jeep for like 4 to 6 hours. I was exhausted. I don't know who was out there with me. Could have been a person. Lots of people go to the woods to, you know, hide from other things they've done, people. Definitely not somebody you want to cross paths with while you're out there. Who knows? I couldn't see anybody. There were no cars. There was nothing out there. If you do go, hiking, if you do go camping, don't go alone. Bigfoot might be real. Tell me your thoughts. What's happened to you? Have you ever experienced the clapper? Because my family seems to think it's the funniest thing ever, but it was freaking terrifying what happened.